Okay guys, today's video I'm back working on my 57 Chevy. So I've got a few more things I got to do to it before hopefully it moves under its own power. I need to work on the cooling system. So I am missing the radiator support, radiator and hoses. So I need to find that stuff. I believe it also holds the front end up. I'm guessing that there's some rubber supports there. I will look on my parts car to verify. So I'm gonna go through my hoard of stuff and see if I can find that radiator support. I believe I've got it. I think I see a radiator support. I think it's right there. How do I get over here? And it's not a show car. This ought to work. Hopefully this is not a 6-cylinder one. Let's find out. Oh, it's a heck of a time to want sandals to wear. All right. Where does this go? Pieces that I've got on here, these pieces right here, are still bolted in the car, rusted halfway away. So I need to remove those before I put this in. And I need to find out if that's a 6-cylinder or a V8 one. Oh, these look like fun. So these are the pieces that are rusted slam out. So we're going to remove them by just unbolting. Let's see, I think this is it. Get in there. This one. There we go. One side's undone. I just need to move on to the other. Rusty. Go below. Oh, I'm missing another piece. Wait a minute. These okay. I need to take these pieces off. Pardon. That one didn't break off. Alright, now let's try her in there. Alright, so there's that. Now I've got the top piece I need to replace. I've got this piece. Which way does it go? I think it's this way. I think it's this way. However, oh yeah, there we go. So this goes on the back side. Oh, look at that. So I found all the radiator support pieces just all over the shop. There's upper radiator support, we got the middle radiator support, and they're from probably 3 different cars. So I've got to get this mounted on the car. The problem I've run into is I don't have the bolts. We got several different bolts on this thing. The few bolts that I do have are in pretty bad shape, but I'm going to go ahead and use them, and I'll just have to keep an eye out for other bolts as I find them. So my goal is today to have the radiator in the car with radiator hoses on it and stuff. So I'm going to install these bolts with some anti-seize. Cross-threaded is Loctite, right? Yeah, I had a heck of a time getting them out. These are the bolts that came out of this lower support, so I knew they would fit, but they're in pretty rusty, bad shape. Got a movie going on today, guys. I'm watching the first Jaws. Great movie. I bet there were a bunch of families that didn't go to the beach that year when that movie came out. Because even now the movie's a little scary. So, good hat. Yeah. Of course, I didn't get bit or anything, but I was probably only about 10 feet away from a shark. And it was a tiger shark. It was a tiger shark. Not like a great white or anything, but it was a tiger shark. Had my surfboard with me. I didn't go to the beach the rest of the year. In fact, I probably didn't go to the beach the year after either. All right, so the support is in enough. I've only got it 4 bolted, but that's all the bolts I got. This wasn't. I'm not gonna put that in. That thing's like almost gone. So I'm gonna have to find some more bolts. Okay. So guys, I've got a beautiful radiator. I'm not sponsored by Champion, but these are like the best radiators I've ever used. I got them in my 66 C10 truck. I've got them in my I put them in my 85 Chevy truck, which I sold. I've got it in my 68 Chevy Biscayne. What else do I have? I've got a bunch of these. So I've bought like 4 or 5 of these radiators, and they're great. They're reasonably priced, and they're great. Did I mention it was aluminum? Or as Russell would say, aluminium. Isn't that pretty? That is pretty. And it fits right in here. So off camera, we went ahead and we put the radiator back in so we could find some, what was the original thing? I needed bolts. I need bolts for the fan and the pulley. If I got to go to the store, might as well get radiator hoses too. So I found in all my junk an upper radiator hose and a lower radiator hose that I trimmed to fit. So the lower radiator hose, trimmed it to fit, so I need to find a new hose at the store shaped like this. Same thing with this one right here. These hoses are so old, I wouldn't even trust them to go around the block. So they're just templates. Let's go to the store and get some new hoses and some bolts. And bam! We got new hoses and we have some bolts for the water pump. Let's get them installed. Okay, so I messed up on the lower radiator hose. I cut it a little bit too short. So I decided to order the correct one rather than, you gotta go forward with it. Yeah. Yeah, I think it'll probably hit the car. It rolls forward. I got company here. I got Howard. I got my buddy Dan. He wants to pull my bike out because, I don't know, he thinks I'm some sort of biker. He's gonna want to go for a ride.
I just wanted to clean it up.
Yeah, so he diagnosed my oil leak on my Harley. He says he's gonna polish up my bike. You gonna wear a bikini?
Yeah.
All right. I'm sure he's gonna fondle the Harley and the trunk.
Here to fondle your motorcycles.
I mean, I do. So I gotta wait on the lower radiator hose. It won't be here until 4:30. What am I gonna do now? I've got a couple things I need to do. I'm going to install a ignition switch. This is a universal ignition switch. And I'm gonna hook up the ignition and the starter. Let me see what else I need to do. I need to find a nut to put on the steering wheel to keep the steering wheel on. I need to put a seat in it so I can drive around. Wheels and tires. I found some old school wheels and tires. Well, wheels and obviously tire because it's coming apart. We got the old kidney beans. Unfortunately, they're 14-inch, but you know, they'll do. I bought 2 new tires for it. They're sitting right there. So we're going to install some new tires on the wheels. The other 2, they're maybe a year or 2 old, so they're good to go. Let me see if I can get this ignition switch in and start wiring it up. I've got the dash is in horrible condition on this thing. I'm not going to be able to fix it right now. Like, I don't know what the person was thinking on this. What did they do? That is horrible. So one of these is going to be a cigarette lighter. The other one is for the ignition switch. You know what? I've got a parts car over, well, it's not a parts car. I've got another 57 over here. I'm going to see if there is a ignition switch still installed on the car, and I'm going to see which hole it's in. Okay, so it is the first hole has the ignition switch. Although I'm not even 100% sure that that is going to be correct either. So it's the first hole. Let me double check online and see where the ignition switch is. So we're going to be installing the ignition switch. Before I install the ignition switch, I'm going to get some of the wires, hook up to the back of it. That way I go ahead and start wiring it up. Not under the dash, but right here. That way whenever I install it, I can just run the wire to the battery, to the coil, and then to the starter. Yeah. So I believe this is going to be the battery one right here. So you got battery, starter, ignition, and accessory right there. All right, let me find a fuse so I can put a fuse to the battery, because I don't need anything to catch fire. So I've got this old school fuse here. I bought it from my favorite parts store. They've been in business since like the 50s. You know, that is an old fuse, but it's gonna work. I feel kind of guilty doing this. There we go. Removing this, removing these springs. So you use different springs for different fuses. So I have the ignition switch in. I have the wires coming through the firewall. I need to hook up the starter and the ignition. The car's jacked up so high I can't get in there to do it comfortably. So it's now time to put tires on some wheels. I've got some lug nuts here. We'll go ahead and install the wheels and tires, lower it to the ground. That way I can get over the hood and work on this thing. I hate switching up on y'all, but it's gonna make it easier on me. Brand new and already lost. What junk. All right, I'm happy. All right, now that we've got it down on the ground, I can reach the wiring easier. Let's hook up the stuff. All right, and boom, just like that, we have the ignition wired up. So what are we gonna do next? I don't have an alternator for this thing, so I can't run a belt on the water pump. So I guess just need to hook up the battery I need some fuel. I'm gonna gravity feed some fuel to this carburetor, and maybe hook up something to the throttle so I can like give it a little throttle and go from there. Maybe we'll be able to pull this thing out of the shop. So I've got everything wired up. I've got some ground straps or jumper cables going for my ground. I have everything hooked up. Will it crank up and run? Let's find out. Put a screwdriver in here, help hold it open. Great. Battery. All right, I got another battery in it. Try it. Maybe it's not the battery, maybe it's the starter. Put a little hot sauce in it. Maybe it'll help dry it out. So I've got spark. Kind of comes and goes. All right, so I'm going to pull out one of the spark plugs and just see if it's wet. Then I'll know if it's flooded or not. All right, so I'm pretty sure I found what happened. The plugs are fouled, and someone put platinum plugs in an engine that's running points. That's a no bueno. Do not put platinum plugs in a points ignition car. So now what I gotta do is I gotta run to the store, and I've got to get the correct plugs for this engine, regular plugs. So I'm gonna run to the store. I'll see y'all in a minute. So I went to the parts store. I did not realize how expensive spark plugs have gotten lately. And shame on me. I should have gone to my buddy who has his own parts store that's been there since like the 50s. And I bought, he didn't have any AC Delcos, but he had Champion spark plugs, which are fine. I'm more of an AC Delco guy, but my second pick is Champions. They were not $6 a piece. I'm not gonna say how much I got it but I saved a lot of money. Support local businesses, guys. You help them, they help you. Plus he doesn't sell a lot of spark plugs, so I got a heck of a deal. So yeah, Champions, let's get these things in, and we'll try firing this thing up again. All right, go ahead and start here. You know, these spark plugs are probably older than me.
Probably, you know. Old box. They don't take this.
I don't think they do. Not saying they don't, though. Oh, I feel so much better. Why would you put platinum plugs in a points ignition car, man? Platinum. I remember when they were pushing those in the 90s. Oh my goodness. Look at that. It's a sticker. I can like, dude, this is old. I am going to fill that out and I'm going to stick it under the hood of this car for when I changed my spark plugs. Oh, that's cool.
Wow.
When was the last time you saw one of those? All right, dude. Make sure it's not in gear. Not in gear. Alrighty. Let's give her a shot. Okay. Nothing. All right, we have got spark. So we have spark. But it ain't hitting on nothing. Ain't that a shame? Right?
Yep.
Got spark there. Notice how fast it's turning over now?
Yes.
Something tells me I got to go through that carburetor.
Yeah.
All right, sweet. The sweet sound of horsepower. All right, so I need to hook up something for the throttle, and we're gonna crank this thing up, and we're gonna try to out the door. Gonna try. Oh, come on! All I wanted to do is drive out. Happy Father's Day, Dad.
They should name that alligator
That's
Mulligan.
it.